the ESG45LX ASCR cutter, specifically built for cutting hard metals. So one thing we always work on here at Greenlee is ultimately trying to improve what we already have that's good. We try to make it better from continuous quality improvement. And the ESG45, which has been a long time stalwart within our line in the utility markets for cutting hard metals, is no exception. So what we have with us today is we have our existing ESG45, and we also have our brand new and improved ESG45 with a couple different features that we've added on to it as we've been redesigning. So first and foremost, we need to make sure that everybody's wearing their correct PPE and make sure you pay special attention to the instruction manual, as this is going to be cutting through some hard metals and making sure that you're protected in that sense. But on with the description of the tool. So the first thing that we worked on with the new ESG45 is a redesign of the head. We took a machined head that was prevalent on the old model, and we made it into a casting. So it's going to take out quite a bit of weight. In fact, this design modification actually took 33% of the overall weight of the tool out. So we're moving down to 6.2 pounds with the new version of the ESG45. So that move to the casted head also enabled us to make a couple changes with replaceable blades. So as you go forward and power this blade up, it allows you to replace blades really, really easily. The top blade actually takes an Allen wrench where you just pull out a set screw and the blade falls out. And this is really important from the perspective of making sure that these tools can be field repairable. There's no question that when you're in the industry, you're cutting through hard metal, you're going to cut through something that either is overcapacity or the blades just had enough. And it goes through a certain amount of cuts that ultimately all of that force that's being exerted on that blade is going to eventually give way. The last thing we want to do is have you take that tool out of the field to have it repaired. So that's one of the newer innovations that we've put along with this tool. So I dropped the blade back down, and now we're going to do a demo real quick. The overall capacity of this tool is to go up to Falcon, which is 1590 ACSR. It also works with EHS guy wire up to 5/8 inch. So what we're going to work with today is actually at the capacity of the ESG45. We're going to work with 1590 Falcon ACSR. So what's really evident within that demonstration that we just did is that when this piece of the ACSR fell off, it literally just fell off. The reason why it did that, typically when you work through with hard metal, you're going to see some type of a projectile. That's why I'm referencing making sure you're wearing the correct PPE and reading the instruction manual. If you're working with ground rod or you're working with guy wire, working with ACSR, cutting through any of those hard metals like steel, it's going to have a certain amount of energy that's going to be released when you cut through it. So typically when you're cutting through soft metal, it's more of a scissor type action. When you're cutting through a hard metal, it's going to be a snapping action. So that's ultimately releasing a lot of energy, and it could have a projectile that comes from that. So that's one of the things that we wanted to work on with this new improved model. We've actually created a patented system that's a shock load damping system. So ultimately, you're going to see that we can reduce the overall amount of energy that's being released through this damping system. It's going to you'll be able to feel it as you're using a variety of these tools. You're using this tool versus any other hard metal cutter in the industry. And it's also better for the tool. It's going to ultimately understand how much energy is being released when it goes through the hard metal. It's going to save on the overall structure of the tool. It's going to elongate the life of the tool. It's going to be in the field longer. So it's not only a safety application, it's also a resiliency application that we want to make sure that this tool is capable of. So yeah, the first of its kind shock load damping system with the ESG45LX Hard Metal Cutter from Greenlee.